to another video. Today we've got a more trigger-based video for you. We've got some controller sounds. I've got a assortment of controllers here for you. So I've got, this is a Switch, third-party Switch sort of Pro controller. We've got an Xbox controller. We've got a keyboard. Got JoyCons, which are my favourite trigger. And then I've got a little retro emulator gaming system as well to go through. So we've got 5 controllers to go through. But we'll start with this one. And I'm going to work my way towards the JoyCons because they're probably my favourite of all of them. So we'll start our way around with the D-pad. These are quite quiet, so I'll try not to talk over them. We'll move on to the joysticks, the analog sticks. Apologies for the hat today. My hair is just a little bit all over the place because I need a haircut. I don't usually wear a hat indoors, but I just can't deal with my hair today. It's a bit all over the place. And it's currently after a long day of work and travelling. So I really can't be asked to do anything with my hair at all. And we've got the A button, so you can always tell a cheaper controller because they just sound a little bit hollower and a little bit more empty and springy. But we'll work our way up the list to hopefully definitely better controllers. That just leaves us with we've got the miscellaneous buttons, like the home button and the plus and the minus, but we'll move on to that one for last. We go for the bumpers. So we got see, I prefer that one to this one. Hear the spring in that a little bit. We have got the last few buttons. There is no extra triggers on there. It's a very cheap controller, but it does a job for the Switch. I don't need a Pro controller particularly. Like for £70, 70 quid. But we've got the little. A lot of these don't really make a lot of noise. That's a very soft noise. And the rest are quite quiet. And this is the version of the home button, this little circle. I think this is Geotech, it's the company's logo they use as the home button, so it's a Geotech controller. But I think that's enough from that one. So I think next we're going to go on to this games console. I can't remember, I think there goes an R36S. It's the ones you see all over, not Instagram, maybe Instagram, and like adverts and YouTube for like cheap emulators. This emulates Game Boy, Nintendo DS, PlayStation 1, so all those sort of consoles, anything handheld or below PlayStation 1, I believe. It doesn't do Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation 2. It's not as powerful as that, but I bought it for the like Pokemon games and some PlayStation games, but they're quite hard to play because of the little joysticks. But got these on the back as well. See, you've got triggers. But we'll start with the buttons. See what we can get out of those. There we go. We've got the D-pad. Said all quite quiet, really. Even these buttons. But the analog sticks do make some nice, quiet, sort of soft clicking. These are very hard to use because you can see they're sort of like in the console, so like you can use them but they're not comfortable. But most of the games I use the D-pad because they're Game Boy anyway, so. And then I think we're going to move on to the clickiest buttons on here, which are the triggers on the back here. Quite a nice screen on this one, to be fair. I think it's an IPS or something like that, but quite a tappy screen. And to be fair, I think this is only like £30, so it's not particularly expensive if you do want something to emulate. And it's pretty solid. You can add games to it as well, but I don't have the time or the effort to figure that out. Got most of what I need on there anyway. on to a little bit of a better controller now. We've got still a third-party one, but it's an Xbox one, so it does make the buttons do make a little bit better noise. The D-pad doesn't, but everything else is. So we'll start with the A and B buttons on here, shall we? Because a lot of them haven't worked on the current controllers. So. The A button's a little bit jammed. I don't really use this controller anymore because I don't actually have an Xbox. So this just sits in my drawer dormant for ASMR, but it is getting less and less functional by the day. B button's definitely the best sounding one on this one. And then also as a sort of little bonus, you've got the home button, which makes actually decent sounds. And then, see, none of these really they do together, which is the home and the pause button, no start and the menu button, I think. That leads us on to the sticks. Stick is falling apart as well. And then that leaves us with the quiet little bumpers. A little bit softer than the last ones actually, but a lot springier as well. Our penultimate gaming controller, or gaming as a gaming controller, user keyboard to control. And this is I say it's a mechanical keyboard, I'm pretty sure it is. It's one that I can't remember where I even got it from now. This is the trusted keyboard I use when I'm not using my laptop one. It's not wireless at all. It's got a plug in here. But the only thing that's a bit funky is the space key. But all the rest I like the sound of. As you can hear, almost every key has its unique sound, so you can tell it's not an expensive keyboard. But as I said, for most things, they do the job. Especially bad. Probably my favourite sounding one actually is down here. Maybe up there. But there we've got. And then we'll just give you a little bit of a sample of seems to be the big keys there that struggle with the noise, but I don't think they're actually supported properly, so it's probably why. And now move on to the most premium item in the collection of triggers, which is the Switch 2, which is my Switch 2. Obviously I'm using this for the JoyCons, not the actual Switch, so we'll come back to some screen tapping at the end, I think. Put that down here. And probably the original JoyCons were my favourite trigger probably ever. These ones are probably a little bit quieter, but still probably one of my favourite options for triggers. Mainly because there's two of them as well, so you get really good double sort of noise action. As you can see, I do prefer these JoyCons. Not as bright. I'm still waiting for them to do a good collector's editions of the Switch 2. I don't think they have yet, but to be fair, the arrows in the A and B are the same, so that's why I started with them. Same buttons, same mechanisms, just different functions. And then I think we're going to go on to the sticks. Let me know in the comments below if you have any of your favourite triggers in here, if this has one that you prefer to the others. I definitely always prefer JoyCons. I think they're the best sounding controllers for ASMR. I'm not sure if these are as good as the old JoyCons, but they're still very, very good. And I'm going to leave the bumpers for last. We have got the home buttons and the capture buttons and a chat button on this one now, but and you can probably realise this isn't my usual sort of recording setup. It's because I left my laptop away at work in my office, and I don't have anything to record audio on alongside my camera, so I've had to set up a sort of makeshift one at my desk, and my microphone goes directly into my phone, which does the audio, but apart from that I have no way of capturing audio otherwise, apart from recording two videos, one just for audio and one on my camera, then mashing them together, but I don't think that would work very well. And then finally we've got the R buttons, ZR and R and L, a little quieter on this one than it used to be. I think that's going to be all for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, hope you relaxed, sleep well, and I'll catch you next time.